What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. With the Black Ops 6 beta officially over, I think now is a perfect time to dive into what I liked and didn't like about the Black Ops 6 beta. So for today's video, I want to keep it more on the positive side and talk about what I did like about the beta. Because regardless of what my videos portrayed, there were elements of the Black Ops 6 beta that I actually really liked. So let's touch on them today. But before we get started, I'd love to hear your thoughts down below on what you liked in the Black Ops 6 beta to try to spread a little bit of positivity, because it's not all doom and gloom. There are good aspects of this game, so let's talk about it and highlight them for others in the community. Okay, so let's jump into it. The first thing right off the bat that I loved about the Black Ops 6 beta was the menu music. I'm not going to play it here in fear of a copyright strike, but let me tell you, the menu music just hits different in this game, and I love it. I'm not saying it's a huge element to keep me playing, but at least when I'm waiting in a lobby or moving from lobby to lobby, the music is so nice. And it's just one of those added details that goes to adding a better quality of life for the game. But now let's move into a little bit more of the actual gameplay and game design that Black Ops 6 has. The first thing I noticed right off the bat was the perk system in Black Ops 6 isn't vastly different. But now, not only are your perks segregated into perk slot 1, 2, and 3, but also each perk has its own perk type, which allows you to gain a bonus if you group perk types together. And I gotta be honest with you, I loved running recon throughout the entirety of the Black Ops 6 beta, and I can see myself grouping together all of the perks that allows me to gain recon on almost every single class. I thought it was very well done and a nice little change of pace to the classical 3 perk tier system that we've seen throughout Call of Duty for far too long. This is a much better deviation from what we've seen before than what we've had with games like Modern Warfare 2 and their timed perk system. So good job on Treyarch thinking a little bit outside the box and allowing players to diversify their setups. This is a massive change of the quality of the game. And I'm looking forward to playing a little bit more with the perks once the full game releases. And speaking of playing around with things once the full game releases, the Gunsmith in Black Ops 6 is vastly improved to the bloat system that we had in MW3 and MW2. No longer are you going to have 70 million different sights and attachments for the gun. And on top of this, you're not going to have to do this insane mathematical equation to ensure that you're utilizing your attachment mix optimally. Because most of the attachments in Black Ops 6 have only positives to give your gun, instead of having this drawback to every single attachment that you equip. This is a massive quality of life improvement in my opinion, and it cannot go unnoticed. I have been asking for this for the last couple years, and I'm so glad that they decided to go this route in Black Ops 6. Now, it doesn't mean that no attachment has a drawback, but the drawbacks make sense, and they don't extremely penalize you, and there's ways to counter it, which is a nice way to reward players that are willing to dive that extra bit deeper to understand what is going to add an element to your gun and give you a positive value and what's not going to give you that positive value. Now let's talk about the elimination system in Black Ops 6. Because during Black Ops Cold War, I was a little bit lukewarm on this decision. I thought it was a little bit silly, a little bit stupid. But a lot of that fell with the fact that it was a system within a system that bothered me. It wasn't so much that I disliked the elimination system. It was the fact that you coupled the elimination system with a really bad score streak system in Cold War, and you just kind of got this mixed bag. But at least with Black Ops 6, it feels like the elimination system makes sense. And with the stim being as prominent as it is, you're not getting as many eliminations as you would in other games. Now, I really hope the stim changes over time, because I do feel it's more or less a crutch right now. But we'll talk about that in a future video. To get back on track with the elimination system though, the removal of assists is nice for a lot of players and also allows you to feel better about yourself. Now I know that some people feel like this is the socialism of Call of Duty, giving you kills when you didn't really earn them, but sometimes you feel like you deserve that kill even though you didn't get it because you got the guy down to one shot, and only getting an assist feels a little demeaning. But at least in this game, I feel like you're getting rewards for throwing shots on people, for being able to identify where people are, and I really like that system. It's not perfect, mind you, but it is nice. Now let's talk about one of the biggest improvements that Black Ops 6 has made compared to its predecessors. One of my biggest concerns and criticisms of both MW2 and MW3 is their awful UI system. Now, again, Black Ops 6 does not have a perfect UI. I still feel it's more or less cluttered, but it is an improvement. Just the main screen is far superior than anything we had during the MW2, MW3 era. It's simplistic, and it's nice to just see very little clutter on the screen. Now, of course, like I said, it's not perfect when you load up the menu, but it is better than what we've had. Long gone are the horizontally scrolling tiles that we saw during MW2 and MW3 that were very reminiscent of a streaming service. I'm playing Call of Duty, I'm not looking for something to watch on Netflix or Amazon Prime. It just seemed like a silly addition to Call of Duty, and again, just goes into the negative that is Call of Duty HQ. But it's really nice to see that they decided to do this improvement to the UI. I know they had talked about it previously, but it was nice to see it in action and have it actually look a lot better. So that was well done by Treyarch. So the last thing I want to touch on today has a little bit of an asterisk next to it. Because while, yes, I think that there are elements of what I'm about to talk about that are fantastic, the inconsistencies of it really made my blood boil at times and made the beta less enjoyable to play. But when you got into one of those lobbies that was running smoothly and the movement worked, the gunplay in Black Ops 6 is some of the best we've seen in this franchise. Very reminiscent of the gunplay that we had in Cold War, mixed with some of the gunplay that you have in MW3. And it's a perfect balance. The problem with it, though, is that you notice it when it's running perfectly. You're like, holy smokes, that was a smooth gunfight. That was a really responsive gunfight. And yet you have so many interactions and gunfights that don't feel as responsive. And those inconsistencies stick with you and remind you that, oh no, this is a little bit of a problem. But I don't want to focus on it being a negative. I do want to say that if they can find a way to create the gunplay to be a little bit more consistent, to maintain a level of consistency, holy smokes, do we have some really good gunplay here in Black Ops 6. And that needs to be the highlight of Call of Duty. At the end of the day, it's a first-person shooter. You need it to have quality gunfights. And if you fail to deliver that, you're just not going to have as quality of a game as you can have. But Black Ops 6 has that potential. It has the framework to have a really solid base gameplay. Now it's up to Black Ops 6 to fine-tune some other areas. And the areas they're going to fine-tune are what we're going to talk about tomorrow in the dislike section. The criticisms I have for the game. Now, some of them will be repetitious from what I've talked about before, but some of them will be brand new. But that's it for what I liked about the Black Ops 6 beta. I do feel that there is some good here and some really strong foundations that have been built and some brand new systems that I think we need to highlight. But I want to hear from you on what I might have missed, maybe some elements that you think deserve to be highlighted, and again, I ask you to comment down below. So that's it for this one. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, can you please hit that like button? If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.